Hi there, welcome back to another year of LTV Sports. Last year we talked football, hockey, and I filmed a baseball episode and I really didn't like it. I threw it in the trash, like my childhood dreams of playing for the Phillies. But that's okay, because just like our parents, we all make mistakes and we're all proof of that. But I have to say this in the nicest way possible, and I wouldn't want to offend any of our simple God-fearing American sports fears, but well, what I'm trying to say is that most of the world doesn't really give a shit about any of those sports, but they do care about football. Not that football. That football. On this episode of Thorpe Sports, it's an idiot's guide to soccer. Soccer is full of contrasts. On one hand, it is seen as one of the purest sports out there, but FIFA, the organization that runs it, is so corrupt it has corporate America taking notes. It is often seen as a game of world unity, and I'm sure if you attend a game, you'd feel that way too until you get stabbed by a Newcastle fan screaming, "Away the lads!" Hi, this section of Thorpe Sports was brought to you by Knife Crime. It's not soccer without knife crimes. Complain about American football and baseball all you want, Euro snobs. At least American fans aren't Assassin's Creeding each other outside the stadium. They might get drunk and punch horses, but they don't stab people. It's also seen as one of the most progressive games in the world, with pride flags about and teams supporting very socially conscious issues. But at the same time, it's also one of the most bigoted, featuring such events as Russian fans protesting their team signing a black guy, Israeli fans protesting/rioting over their team signing a Muslim, or just listen to Chelsea fans chant, and you're bound to find something racist in there. It can be one of the most exciting sports where teams go at it and it comes down to the wire, or it's just 22 guys pass the ball around for 90 minutes, it ends in a 0-0 draw, and everybody goes home disappointed. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Some of you might not really even know anything about this sport, so let's turn it over to me in the field. Thanks, Jason, and thanks for going to the trouble for booking us a field. F***ing idiot. Anyway, soccer's a pretty simple game, so even an idiot like you should be able to understand. It's played on a pitch, not a field. Usually it's about 110 yards by about 70 yards. Each team has 11 players, and usually there's around 7 players on the bench, and you get 3 subs for the whole game. But Jason, what if you've used 3 subs and one of your players is injured and needs to come off? Well, you play short-handed, that's what. Maybe if your player wasn't such a you wouldn't have been in this position. Anyway, the game is divided into 2 45-minute halves. Players can use any part of their body except their arms and hands to move the ball, and they're trying to score mainly using their feet, which is why it's called football, and why Europeans get such a stick up their ass when we call this football. Anyway, the game is played for 90 minutes, after which usually it ends in a draw if the game is tied. However, in tournaments, when somebody has to win, the refs say, no, f*** you, and keep playing, and you'll play extra time, and if someone still hasn't won, then you do penalty kicks until someone wins. There's a number of things that you can't do in soccer. Running into somebody, making them stumble, that might just be a regular foul, you lose possession of the ball. You slide tackle some guy a little bit too hard, that's a yellow. Biting people like Luis Suarez or headbutting like you're Zidane will get you a straight red card, and you're out of here. Now, this area marked up here is the penalty area. If you commit any sort of kind of up foul in that area, then the other team gets a penalty kick, and guess what? Everybody's gonna hate you for it. We'll start with the forwards. These are guys like Ronaldo, Messi, Zlatan. They're flashy, they're talented, they score all the goals when they're not busy not paying their taxes and committing sexual assault. And now we'll move on to midfielders like Kevin De Bruyne, Luka Modric, and Mario Götze. Now, while the forwards get all the credit for scoring the goals, the midfielders basically do all the work to make sure those goals happen. So, it's kind of like imperialism. So, defenders can be divided into 2 types. First, you have fullbacks. Fullbacks like Kyle Walker and Andrew the Flying Scotsman Robertson. Now, fullbacks are fast as boy, and they have to be, because not only do they have to be able to chase down forwards and midfielders running up to the attack, but once possession changes over, they have to be able to rush back to the other side of the field to support the counter. The other type of defender would be your center backs, and these are the biggest boys like Virgil van Dijk, Sergio Ramos, Diego Godin, and they got to be big and strong because they have to be able to bully defenders off the ball, but graceful at the same time because they don't want to be too bullying the defenders off the ball because that could get them a penalty. And then finally, you have goaltenders like David De Gea or Alisson Becker or Keylor Navas. And these guys are absolutely out of their mind because they scream all match and have to stop a ball this big from getting into a net this big. That's all I got here. Back to you, Jason. Idiot, couldn't get us a goddamn field. This is Now, another thing to understand with soccer is transfers, or how players move from one team to another. Let's make things clear. Trades like you see in US sports are not super common. Second, the soccer transfer market is a capitalist hellscape because compared to American sports, there are little to no financial regulations to stop the super rich teams from just buying all the best players. Man City, $1 billion transfer budget, you'd still be trash without the annual money. Soccer teams don't trade players, they buy players or they loan players, but when they say a player they've bought, they mean they've bought the player's contract rights. But Jason, it sounds kind of weird to have a bunch of corporate entities talking about buying people. Why, yes. Yes, it f***ing is. You see, if a team wishes to buy a player, they find another team on the street corner or an alleyway or wherever they do these things. They then look over the team's wares, no samples allowed. If they find a player they like, they haggle over a price, and once they make a deal, they then get to go to the player who has some agency and gets to negotiate his contract with the team. If the team makes a deal with the player, they then pay the fee they agreed to with the player's current team, and the player joins the new team. As technically okay as that is, I still feel like I described something incredibly illegal. Now, our American brains are so warped by Super Bowls and World Series and Stanley Cups, it's hard to understand soccer leagues. In soccer leagues, if you're not first, you're last. Your mom lied to you. It doesn't matter if you gave it your all if you don't get trophies. In soccer, if you win a game, you get 3 points. If you draw, you get 1. And if you lose, you get zilch. At the end of the season, the team with the most points, that is, wins. That's it. They get the trophy, no playoffs, no final game with a halftime show or 30-second ad slots worth a few $1 million. End of the season, it's over. But Jason, doesn't the US have a soccer league? Why, yes, it does. It's called the MLS. Does the MLS work like other leagues where the team with the most points wins? Nope, it sure as doesn't. Oh, well, at least they don't pander to Americans by having playoffs that not even the real American soccer fans want, right? Nope, they do that too. Oh, well, at least it's not a league where washed-up bums like Zlatan, David Beckham, and Nani come to play. Oh, no, it's still a retirement league. Why? If I know. But that's a topic for another video. Well, I hope this helps you understand the beautiful game a little bit more. I'm Jason Thorpe. This is Thorpe Sports. Thanks for watching.